All right, y'all. Let's just get into it. Received a little package, right? That I was expecting. I was about to make that mistake and cut towards me. You don't do that. It's supposed to cut away from you, right? Um, you would think by now I would have gotten a box cutter instead of continuously keep using a knife. I should have bought a box cutter by now. But it is what it is. Whatever. Let's bust this open real quick. Let's see what we got. Wanted to do something different, and when I say different, I mean as opposed to the traditional Nikes that I'm always faithful to. I'm a diehard Nike fan. I wanted to do something different. I wanted to go back to the 80s when I had a pair of New Balance. And this is what brought me to this real quick. So we have here a piece of history, right? New Balance came around somewhere in around the early 1900s, 1905 maybe, 1906. And it came about because they wanted to give, customers art support, especially for people in the service industry who were standing on their feet a long time. People in retail, police, frontline workers, people in the medical industry, stuff like that. They wanted to just give people that art support and quote unquote new balance for their feet. So they came about, like I said, in the early 1900s, 1906, but it wasn't until, maybe 30 years later when they actually came out with their first pair of sneakers. So in the early 1900s, like I said, they came out with some art supports and everything to insert in the shoes, but it wasn't until about 1936 or 37 when they actually came out with their first pair of sneakers. The company went through a few changes, right? Fast forward to the 80s. They came out with some, New Balance 550s, right? These are not that shoe. These are actually the 650s. Has that, you can tell, retro look to it. But the 550s came out, I think, in 1980. The 650s here came out shortly after. And again, it was to, give the basketball players on the court, some comfort, some stability, and of course, again, that arch support. What's interesting here is about the N in the New Balance has a sort of puffed bubble look to it, and that was only because when he came out, the big thing that was, the thing that was real big back then, especially in the streets, was graffiti. So the puffed and bubbled up N was to be reminiscent of the bubble letters that was real popular back then. Like I said, with graffiti in the streets and everything. That's why they had it raised up and bubbled up. The other thing about this is, if you remember, oh man, I don't know if it was the 480s. I'm drawing a blank right now. I'm not sure if it was the 480s, but if you go back and look at the worthy New Balances, these are reminiscent of those also. I actually had a pair of the worthies. Me and my man Pitbull, God bless the dead, we had a pair of the worthies, and these are reminiscent of that. But royal blue, white, clean finish, like I said, has the old retro look. Nothing too crazy. What's interesting about New Balance also, just a bit of history, a bit of nostalgia. I think back in 2010, 2012, 2012, New Balance actually came out with a pair of running sneakers, a pair of the 990s for President Obama at the time. And it literally had Obama stitched in the back. And that was just a showcase to the president how big that industry was important to the country, how big the industry itself was big to America, and to stop outsourcing production overseas. The majority of New Balances are made here in the States. A lot of the running sneakers, obviously this is a basketball sneaker, a lot of the running sneakers in the back, you'll see printed USA. That's because over 70% of the materials produced in that shoe are actually made in America. So that's the only way they can get away with, having saying made in the USA. But like I said, these are the basketball sneakers. 650s, and that's pretty much it. I mean, I love these colors, man. The royal blue and white stands out crazy. Typical New Balance silhouette with that front toe support there, that horse crow arch. But that's pretty much it, man. As usual, guys, like I said, y'all already know the script, man. Be good. Be good to self. Be good to others, man. Walk safe, man. And as always, walk with God. Peace.